The following is a paid program.
I have been in public life since 1980 on a PNM platform. I have been in Parliament since January 1987. I've fallen in love with a lot of girls.
I knew since I used to go to school, and to tell you the truth, I always used to like it since I went to school. But that's just, it used to be a secret something.
If you come forward to the political arena, come with clean hands. And once you are in the political arena, you are available to be questioned by every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago because you are managing their affairs. I told you I want to speak to you about morality in public affairs. Morality in public affairs means when you have put yourself up to conduct public business, you have to subscribe to principles of morality and ethics even if they are not written in law.
Three minutes after the hour of 6 o'clock. 3 minutes after the hour of 6 o'clock. And let me say a pleasant good evening to all and sundry. Welcome to the election platform with yours truly, the Gladiator. And with me today we have Barry Garcia. A pleasant good evening to you, Barry Garcia. Just know I'm not hearing you on the mic.
Good evening to you,
right.
Mr. Gladiator. Good evening to Trinidad and
fix
Tobago.
Fix this mic here, no, man. Fix the mic. Right. Okay.
And
right.
good evening to all folks who are following us on the World Wide Web. Pleasant afternoon to Trinidad and Tobago once more.
Barry, it is getting nastier every day. I was on Charlotte Street today, and there was an argument on Charlotte Street. It almost turned out into a fight. And you'll be surprised to know what the argument was all about. It was all about yesterday's program. And it is the label the PNM is getting as with regards to this whole episode with ROSELYN and the clip that I played. Do you know they are calling PNM the pedophile nasty movement? You know that's the name they're giving PNM right now?
I saw a comment like that came up on Facebook.
It gone viral already on Facebook, you know?
Yeah, I saw a comment like that, and it
It gone viral on Facebook. They call it pedophile nasty movement. Some people saying pedophile national movement. I mean, they say, look where this thing have reached to, Barry. I'm trying, and let me tell people, we're going to open up the lines early o'clock today. We're going to open up the lines early o'clock because we have Barry here, and we are discussing this whole issue here with ROSELYN and the comments that she made yesterday. Because, you know, Barry, I have the transcript, and I have make sure, let me see, I have it right here, the transcript. I've prepared a transcript for you today with regards to ROSELYN. Look at the transcript here. And for the sake of the listening public, a minor is a person under the age of 18 years, a minor. And that's for the sake of the listening public. Now, the statement, and let's go to that statement. Let's go to that statement yesterday. And Barry, we are going to engage the public because it is now a major issue. And when people can label the PNM the pedophile nasty movement, because whether the executive of the party does not want to address it, we have to address it because it is seriously affecting the membership, it is affecting the party seriously, and it is much more worse, 10 times or 20 times worse than the blonde prostitute back in the days of George Chambers.
Well, to even add to that, I had a conversation with senior persons of the party regarding the 1986 General Council conversation.
Yes.
And one or two of them told me that it was very heated, it was very nasty, and some were calling for Chambers to step down at the time.
No, well, you see, that was in 1986.
That was in 1986.
Well, because the whole thing about it, Barry, and you know what I did? I made a copy of the Cleveland Raphael's article because he was the, we don't have reporters like long time, when they will do investigation. Well, Cleveland Raphael is the one who was doing the investigation. And, back then it was, it was serious issues. Understand? Addressing what's happening in the country. Now, as a PNM back then, I was not pleased at all. I didn't want to see any story in the papers at all. Because, back in those days, we had to bury our head in the sand. But today is a very different day because when people on Charlotte Street could reach to the level of labeling the PNM as a pedophile nasty movement, it calls for serious introspection within the party because what you are seeing clearly here is that the executive, they are sitting by and they are not doing anything with regards to this serious allegation. Now let's play that clip, and then we will start to get down into the serious issue.
I have been in public life since 1980 on a PNN platform. I have been in Parliament since January 1987. I've fallen in love with a lot of girls.
I knew him since I used to go to school, and to tell you the truth, I always used to like him since I went to school. But that is just, it used to be a secret something.
If you come forward to the political arena, come with clean hands. And once you are in the political arena, you are available to be questioned by every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago because you are managing their affairs.
Now, months leading up to the 1986 general election, Barry, we were told back then, that is when the blonde prostitute issue was raised, that was affecting the PNM party leading up to the general election. While we were campaigning, we were told, well, back in them days, I was a small fry, in the sense that I had to paste up posters on lamp pole and, go here, go house to house, beg people to vote for the PNM. And we were told that anybody that raised the issue of the blonde prostitute involving the political leader, try not to engage in the discussion, Barry. And back in those days, Woodford Square was a heated area.
Yeah,
it was like a volcano. Because back in those days, one person I know who stood out and was warning the PNM about that whole issue was Alwyn Primus.
Yeah.
Alwyn Primus was calling on the party to put up someone else instead of George Chambers. He lectured every day in Woodford Square begging the party not to send up George because of the blonde prostitute issue. Now, in this issue here, you have a lady by the name of ROSELYN Allen. And when you read the transcript here, this is what the lady is saying. I knew him since I used to go to school. And to tell you the truth, I always used to like him since I going to school. But that just, it used to be a secret something.
What was the secret?
That is it.
Was the secret Was it a secret? What was the secret?
Well, let me try to play devil's advocate. And we will engage the population. Let me tell them the numbers are 222-82555. Now let me play devil's advocate. I feel the secret is that it giving her maths, homework, to study the Turley and Twisty, the cow jump over the moon. I think it was all about subjects at school. I feel so.
Gladiator,
that have to be the secret.
I don't believe in coincidence. And it cannot be a coincidence that this woman saying that she had a likeness for this gentleman.
She knew him.
She knew him.
Since she going to school.
It was a secret affair.
Yes.
And just as when you are turned around 17, you had a child for him. But what is even worse, for 45 years, this child was a secret to the public. And 28 years out of Dr. Rowley's public life, nobody knew of this child. Thirdly to that.
So wait, Barry. You're not going to buy. You're not going to buy into my argument that the secret something was about
extra lessons.
Extra lessons.
No, I'm not buying into that.
You're not buying into that.
Yeah, because the extra lessons. If
he's a teacher for the young girl.
Yeah, well then what he was teaching her biology. So how she end up with a child film?
Let's play that clip.
I knew since I used to go to school, and to tell you the truth, I always used to like him since I went to school. But that is just, it used to be a secret something.
Play it one more time.
I knew since I used to go to school, and to tell you the truth, I always used to like him since I went to school. But that is just, it used to be a secret something.
Yes, we come back to the issue here.
Yeah, but what is the secret something, Gladiator?
Well, since you're not buying into the argument that I raised, I said I'll play devil's advocate, that the secret something could be evening lessons, maths, English, grammar, all the different, what kind of subject they will have in school back in those days? History, sociology, general papers,
biology, physics, chemistry, so on and so on.
In other words,
what was this?
If it was that, she would have come out plain and say it's about lessons, home lessons.
Gladiator, what was this secret something?
I feel, and I wish to make it bold, let's not beat around the bush. Things were taking place between ROSELYN Allen and the political leader of the Pnm party.
Whilst he was a teacher at that school.
While he was a teacher. No, we do not know. We do not know exactly what was taking place. But ROSELYN Allen is the one who made the statement about secret somethings. And the possibility is that those things, or those secret things that was happening, was things that if the public, if the people in Tobago, if the outside people get to find out, it could have serious and dire trouble between the both individuals.
So then,
can one fairly come to that assumption?
Yes, but is this secret something that led to the birth of Gat Allen?
Well,
is that the possibility?
Well, from the reality is that the same woman or the same school girl end up being a child for Dr. Keith Rowley.
Right. If the consensual aspect of the conceiving of the child was legal, why was it a secret?
Well, it could not have been a secret if it was legal. If it is illegal, then these things have to remain.
Why for 28 years of your public life?
Have to be what young people say on a down low.
Right. I'm asking this question.
Yes.
Why for 28 years? You came into the political arena. You came into Parliament 1987. 1981 you contested, I think was a Tobago House of Assembly election, if I may be corrected.
1981?
1981,
yes.
right?
Yes,
Tobago House of Assembly election. From then to now, this child is around. And nobody knew of this child? Your resume, your parliamentary resume and bio states that you have 2 daughters. Nobody have known of this son. The PRO of the party.
And you know, coming to that area there, one can assume it was deliberately intentional. Or let me say it was intentional to leave out Gat Allen in that parliamentary bio.
Why would you do that?
Because it will go to the genesis of the entire situation. It would lead back to the genesis of the situation.
So therefore there was some funny business going on there.
And maybe the situation was something that Rowley does not want to relive. Because maybe it was bad and it was not good at all. Because in listening to ROSELYN, Allen and Barry, I gather ROSELYN Allen was a hot mouth. She mouth was hot like pepper. You see, she seems to be a person, was a hot mouth. What some people would call a bad girl. A bad thing. And when I say a bad thing or a bad girl, I do not mean it in the way she'll rob and steal and all this kind of way. Is what people would use in the colloquial language. A girl, understand, if she like a person, she'll go all the way to get that person. Because she's saying that she knew Rowley since she used to go to school. Now, what is unclear here, and this is why we have been begging Rowley, and I'm sure a lot of people have been begging the Pnm party to clear the air on this thing, as to what age this relationship took place, because one can conclude that there was in fact a relationship. Because here it is, she brought for a child for Rowley. But when a lady could say that when she was a school girl, she knew Rowley. She knew him going back those days, going way back those days. And she always liked Rowley. She always had a love for Rowley. I put in it so. She always had a love for Rowley. There must have been some means of communication
and
contact, physical contact. And the mere reason that she ended a statement that it used to be a secret something. There are many schoolgirls outside there today, many schoolgirls, who from the age of 12 years are having sex with young boys in the area.
Some of them are even having with the school teachers, eh?
Well, look at that.
Some of them, because when I was going to Faizabad Senior Comprehensive,
yeah,
not calling on him, a lot of male teachers were involved with a lot of girls in the school, eh?
Yes.
You understand me?
So can we assume back in the 70s and back in the 60s, school teachers having sex with schoolgirls, and at what age would that have started? Back in the 60s
but
and 70s.
If you were going secondary school back then, Gladiator, you started going secondary school from 11.
Right.
After having, that is your first chance in common entrance, 11.
At what age can one assume that back in those days, young girls who hot and
you would leave, let us say you leave up to Form 6. Let's say you go up to Form 6, you do A-levels. You would be leaving secondary school at 17.
Yes.
So between 11 and 17, a lot of girls were being interfered with by school teachers. Some of them got pregnant and their parents had to keep it quiet.
What about some of them who aborted the child?
Some of them ended up with abortion. Some of them had to leave school because I remember they were...
Because one could assume that ROSELYN Allen could have had a child at the age of 13. Well, was conceived at the age of 13. She could have been conceived at the age of 14, 15. It don't have to be conceived by Dr. Rowley, but could have been conceived by some other person, some outside boy or some other teacher, what have you. And because of the village, because of the community, she would have to abort the child because she was underage. All of that possibility because you're dealing with a young girl. Because she's not talking about, well, I love the Spanish that was taught in the school. I like the English that was taught in school. Oh boy, teachers, good maths. He was a good maths teacher.
And then he was the dean of discipline.
You understand? So she's not talking about that. She's talking about a secret something. That means that is something that has to remain on a down low. It has to remain secret. And one only speculating. And to this day, the leader of the PNM party has refused to clear the air on this whole matter.
Glady,
Yes.
answer me this question. Garth Allen is here in the world.
Yes.
He's over 40 years. Why has the political leader of the People's National Movement to date has not come forward publicly and acknowledged Garth Allen as his son? You are vying to be the leader of this country. You are vying to
Prime
be the
Minister?
father, the prime minister. What is so hard for you to come out and say, okay, before I met Sharon, I had this child. Nobody gonna kill you for that. These things happen. All right? David went and interfered with Bathsheba and created Solomon. All right? These things happen. So why can't you come out and say, ladies and gentlemen, members of the public, good citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, this is my son, Garth Allen, who I had with a previous relationship before I met Sharon. And the public, Trinidad and Tobago public, understands that, you know. But what I suspect.
No, but the public, right, based on the argument that took place on Charlotte Street today, where, you know, it reached the level where the lady turned on and say, it is pedophile nasty movement, not People's National Movement at all. It is pedophile nasty movement. I mean, I said, when it could reach to that level,
there's some bitterness.
When PNM members could start to make mention and not address the party as the People's National Movement Party, but address the party as pedophile nasty movement, it because a lot of people are growing with concern that the party is not addressing this issue properly at all. And it brings back to what happened in 1986. That caused the PNM to lose the election in 19 because if the party does not address this matter, Barry, rest assured, the PNM is not going to win the next general election. And I'm sure, I am absolutely sure, on the night of defeat, you're going to hear people cussing and pelting big stone at Balizé House, you know. Because I know party members cannot stand a defeat. Because you go hear people making big, it will be much more worse than Patrick Manning. Much more worse. Okay, so we will start to take your calls. The time right now is about 23 minutes after the hour of 6 o'clock. And you can be part of the discussion, 222-8255. Now, Barry, you're on the ground. We are on the ground. And we are getting all different kinds of conversation, all kind of issue coming from a lot of PNM party members who are concerned. This is why the party right now, the party is split down the middle. What feedback are you getting all over because you told me you have been getting a lot of phone calls.
Yesterday's conversation you had with the population on this issue and carrying it back from a historic perspective from 1986, a lot of people are concerned that if this issue is not addressed properly, it's going to have a very major effect, major effect on the People's National Movement come September the 7th. A lot of people already indicate that they're not voting because they're not happy.
Well, I know they would not be voting.
A lot of people is indicating to me they're not voting. I'm still trying to find out what is the reason why they don't want to vote. Some are saying the leadership is not in touch with the people. Some are very concerned with the communication that is coming up towards them from the party. Some are concerned about the language.
Let's take this
language that is being used on the platform.
Let's take this call who have been on the line very long. Good evening, caller.
Yeah, good evening, Gladiator. How are you today?
Good evening to you.
I'm trying to understand the gist of the discussion. It seems to lack substance. And it seems to target, by the way, I'm not a PNN.
I don't want to hear that rubbish. Cut that man off. Cut that man off. You see how this is coming? The guy is a PNN. I'm a PNM. Barry, you are PNM. But what I don't like is the level of dishonesty. And you see, this is the whole thing about it. Here it is. you have a leader speaking about morality in public affairs. And you have some people calling in, and he seems to be the same guy from yesterday, who called and said he's not a PNM. But yet, I mean, the first thing that came up from your mouth is that it lacks substance. Now, what if what we're discussing here, 2 weeks from now, a newspaper from the United States or from some developed country from the United Kingdom publish a story about Dr. Keith Rowley's past life? Are we to wait until they do that?
But
when we can address it right now?
But we need to address it now because the political leader said on a previous platform.
Because that was the same statement back in 86. There's no substance. Why talk? Well, is a woman evil? Is a blonde woman evil? That what they said back in 1986. And what happened? What happened in 1986? The PNM lost the election.
We almost got obliviated.
33-3. Good evening, caller. Yes.
And they were saying that he wasn't prime minister then when it happened.
Yeah.
So that shouldn't matter. Because
the thing about look what happened. They unearthed a story 12 years ago. Good evening, caller.
Yes, good evening, Dr. Gladiator.
Good evening to you. I'm Yabawi Garcia.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, listeners. Calling from Princeton.
Yes, Princeton.
This is a very serious matter. This is a man who wants to lead Trinidad and Tobago at a time when the eyes of the world is on Trinidad and Tobago. And leadership is very, very important because we need a leader who could not only represent the country locally, but throughout the Caribbean and internationally in the United Nations, in the Commonwealth, all over the world. Our leader has to go out there and win support for our economy and our country. And I don't think Mr. Rowley is up to it. Sad to say, this matter must be, because it's he who said that a pedophile is not allowed in the kindergarten class. It's he who said that.
He said it.
So we must deal with this matter now, so voters will have a chance to adjudicate on this matter when they go to cast their vote in the next election in making their choice for a leader to lead Trinidad and Tobago. It is a critical matter. I'm sorry to say, but perhaps if Ms. Beckles was the leader of the PNM, they would have a better chance.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
A penny fanboy.
Yeah, because I mean, look at and let me read that statement that Rowley said. If a man was known to be a pedophile 2 years ago, his presence today in the kindergarten class is not acceptable. When we apply that to politics, if a man was known to be a pedophile 2 years, 10 years, 15 years, how many years ago, what this statement is saying that this person was a pedophile.
So his conduct of the past is not acceptable to be among children today.
Yes.
So therefore, it also ties in with the statement that Dr. Rowley made. When you come into the political arena, come with clean hands.
Come with clean hands. Good evening, caller.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Glady and Mr. Barry Garcia.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I tell you, this thing has reached worldwide. It's all on Facebook, it's all on BBM, and about this pedophile thing. People sharing it like rain. And if you see the comments on it, I will not be voting for that this election year. See that? I can work with that. And up to now, he cannot come out and give the public no answer as yet. No, man, we're wasting time in this country here.
Thank you. And I'm sure that's an undecided voter.
Precisely.
Understand? Because the whole thing about it, Barry, it has to be addressed. And we look at, I mean, you have been up in the police service. A girl is saying, Barry, I knew him since I used to go to school. Let me take this caller here because we have a set of callers on the line. Yeah. I knew him since I used to go to school. That's what the girl is saying. Good evening, caller.
Hello?
Evening. Good evening.
Yes, is the statute of limitation unlimited in pedophile cases?
Well, we do not know if Dr. Rowley is of such because Rowley has not come and cleared the air. You understand what I'm saying, Barry? A woman is making a statement. We do not know.
But you see that question the caller just asked is a very serious question, you know.
It is. Yes, it's a serious question.
And that tells you the level of the thought process of the people out there. They are thinking about this very seriously, Gladiator.
What is a fact is that right now as we speak on Facebook and all through Port of Spain, The PNM is being labeled as the pedophile nasty movement. That's what people saying. Good evening, caller.
Who he, she?
You understand? That's what they're labeling. That is what they're labeling the party. The pedophile nasty movement. You understand? Now we're going back to this this script here, and this transcript of I knew him since I used to go to school. So this lady is not guessing with what she's saying at all. She's saying she knew Dr. Keith Rowley since she going to school. Now, was it she knew Dr. Rowley since she going primary school or going secondary school? At the end of the day, she was a student. She was a girl, a minor, Barry.
I always used to like him since I going to school. It used to be a secret something. And the question that I am
why
asking,
a schoolgirl will always like this teacher?
But the possibility exists that young people could be infatuated with somebody older. Because us as young men too, we see older women and be infatuated about it. But the point I'm making here now,
I mean, we are not
what
experts,
is the secret something that this young lady is speaking about? What was so secret that up to today, Dr. Rowley has not acknowledged publicly Garth Allen is his son? What was this secret, Gladiator? And this is the part that I need us to stick with. What is the secret? Is it because that this child was conceived when this woman was at an illegal age?
Things that were unlawful. Let's take this caller here. Things that was unlawful back in those days.
Because
it had to be that.
She's specifically saying it was a secret something. What was so secret? Because if you are 18 and over, then it's no secret that you have a child for the man.
Let me take this caller here. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening to you.
Now, I am a swing voter. I am the one who looking for answers, right? And the silence from Mr. Rowley is deafening right now, right? He's not giving me an option whatsoever. Plus, every time he goes on the platform, he speaks about things what happened and who this and that and all kind of thing, and nothing about the issues in the country, right? Now, this thing with this child, I don't know. I see that disrespect when he just ignores everybody. He doesn't come out and clear the air and be a man about it. But yet again, we still dealing with a big boy. Later, fellas.
Thank you very much. Let me play track 3. Let's play track 3 for the listening public.
I knew since I used to go to school, and to tell you the truth, I always used to like him since I went to school. But that is just, it used to be a secret something.
And what's this thing about that particular track, Larry? The chairperson, the lady vice chairman of the People's National, Camille Robinson, told the population on the day when that was being aired that they had done this tape some time before because they knew this was going to come up.
How this managed to remain on the tape?
And
how that managed to remain? Because I mean, I say this is something very serious. I mean, how that remain on the tape? Because is it that they just rush and bring this into the public?
They didn't prep the woman properly, so she sold out herself, Gladys. So in all what the scheme of things in trying to cover up the issue,
they rush in the job.
They rush to come out
to do a PR job.
To do a PR job.
And the same thing that they rush to do,
backfire on them.
And
the thing about it, journalists in this country has to be very careful with the angles they take at times. Sometimes when you feel you're trying to protect somebody, you're doing damage on them. Dr. Sheila Rampasad opened up a can of worms in this matter.
Well, she laid the foundation.
Laid the foundation and the platform for this.
Politicians who are seeking high office, they must open up their life to the public. The public want to know X, Y, Z. It's no longer that you are a private citizen at all. Once you are vying for office, especially vying for the position of prime ministership, your life is an open book, and the public must know any issue
There's a guy
that can turn out to be a scandal. Let me take this caller here. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, Gladiator. Good evening, Barry Garcia.
Good afternoon.
I am calling from Belmont.
Yes, sir.
So this is not looking good for our country,
Not looking good at all.
In the real world, Dr. Rowley is supposed to step down. Once you're in government, whether opposition or the other side, when you go outside here, you are representing this country. I have nothing to do. I am not a supporter of the PNM, but when he goes out there, he represents me too. And it must look good. And whatever one represents out there, the whole country is branded, you know. So you cannot have somebody like that doing that. So in the video, I think Dr. Rowley is supposed to step down because within and without it is not looking good. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Now, the Wall Street Journal in 1987 published a story about the blonde girl that George Chambers had sex with. What if tomorrow, Barry? Because, you know, the local media, the Express, the Guardian, the Newsday, not an investigative reporter have conducted a thorough investigation on this matter. What me and you are doing is what those newspapers should have been doing. What if tomorrow or next week or 3 weeks before the general election, an international reputable newspaper publish a story about this matter? How that is going to affect TNT? What if they publish a story of a man who is seeking to be prime minister and the issue surrounding he having sex with a minor? He has failed to address and clear the air.
Gladiator, let us go.
How is that going? Watch out.
You remember the...
Could you imagine how that is going to affect this country?
Well, I want to tell you, you remember the Bahamian president, Pnm? When it was alleged that his brother was involved in drugs and it cost him the general election?
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes.
Okay. So let the PNM go ahead and drop asleep on this and play the fool.
Because you know what is going to happen? The local media, they are going to wake up when this story is published outside. It might not be Wall Street Journal. Let me take this caller here. Good evening, caller.
Yeah, good afternoon, guys. It's a unique conversation here, but I fail to see the importance of a member of parliament disclosing to the nation how much children he have and who he have it with. Does the nation know, every member of parliament, how much children they have and who they have it with?
Well, is there still? Caller?
Yeah, I understand.
Yes. The reality is that when you are seeking public office, your life is no longer a private book. Understand? Most importantly, when you are seeking the office of prime ministership. Here it is, in Trinidad, people mightn't bother how many women you sex down or you bull down the place or what have you. But here you have an issue that would raise the alarm bell in America or in the United Kingdom if it is that at the end of the day when they conduct the investigation that this prime minister had sex with a minor. Because in America they have strict laws for sex offenders. Sex offenders.
Not only that, in Canada and England, he will not be able to enter the country.
He would not be able to enter the country at all. Because do you know, 1 minute please, do you know in America, if this story was published in a newspaper in America, let's say the UNC is so bad or maybe somebody so wicked, they say, no, you see what happened? The newspaper doesn't want to publish the story. We're going to let somebody outside, either CNN, Fox, or one of them papers publish the story outside them. And they publish that. You feel Dr. Rowley could run and hide and say he want to answer at all? If they publish that story, 1 minute caller, if they publish that story in an international newspaper, either the Independent, New York Times, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, if they publish that, and the international media come to Bali's house, you think Bali's house could say, well, Rowley not answering no media at all? You think that he could avoid answering the question?
No, I'm not saying no, but look, we have a
because 1 minute.
This government that's in power right now, right, was warned several times by several people about Jack Warner, and they didn't take the warning, and he was in government. He acted as prime minister several times. And now look, the international media come and bust our story, FBI investigation, they wanted to extradite him and all kind of stuff.
So then based on what you're saying, you agree with me that if the international media publish a story about ROSELYN Allen and this whole issue about an alleged person having sex with a school girl, You're saying that it's going to have a bad and negative impact on the country.
Yes, that would
Right,
have a
and
bad
that is why,
impact
and
on
caller,
people. That is based on if.
Come on,
we have
caller.
something dealing with right here now that if.
But caller, we are trying to avoid a repeat of what is happening with Jack Warner. This is why we are raising the issue, and we need some clarification on it. You cannot allow this thing to fester and then turn out into a political sore on the back of the People's National Movement. So coming here to bat for Dr. Rowley or to bat for the PNM in that
I'm
manner.
Not batting for nobody. I'm a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. I for Trinidad and Tobago. I'm not for no party. I
think you already agree that it's going to have a negative effect.
It's going to have a negative effect, and we need to clean up this. Because let me explain something to caller. A sore foot don't just end up as sore foot, it's a scratch that is leave unattended, becomes infected and turn a sore foot. And we have to deal with this scratch right now.
Caller, issues that we could deal with right now, or the government that's in power right now.
But look at that.
Yeah, but if we'll be dealing with both sides, we're dealing with both sides, and this is a fundamental importance to us at this point. This one is a fundamental importance to me because I am a member of the People's National Movement.
All right.
Okay? And when I speak, I am speaking with passion about the People's National Movement. I was there from 33 to 3 to help build back this party.
All right.
I am not no Johnny come lately or just a pick-up side on the piece by the road, I battle my way all through all territorial waters, turbulent waters, bad wind, to get PNM back on its foot with the leader that has gone called Patrick Manning.
Caller, final thing, because we have other people on the line here. Are you saying that the PNM should not address this issue seriously?
No, I'm not saying so.
Thank you.
However,
caller.
I'm saying they should address it.
Okay, thank you. We get the point. You understand? He is agreeing that the PNM has to address it because I think that it's only a person who's immoral.
And there's only fear
that
the PNM address this issue immediately because it's going to be
Barry, you're not seeking public office. Good evening, caller.
Very good topic, and I do agree that it should be addressed. However, I also agree that the Prime Minister should also address the allegation of the marijuana, the alleged marijuana, and the affairs she's been having inside of her Philippines home. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have no issue with that at all.
No, neither me.
And the Prime Minister will address those issues.
And she needs to address it too.
And she will address those. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. She will address those issues. That is the issue. I am saying, as a PNM, the leader who wants to represent the People's National Movement
PNM
Party,
cannot afford to brush this aside, Gladiator.
This thing cannot, because you're dealing with a school girl. You're dealing with a minor. You are dealing whereby countries have imposed laws on people who are sex offenders who have to report to nearby police station. As a matter of fact, when a sex offender go into another state or go into another county, they have to walk into that police station and let the police know that they are a registered sex offender. Good evening, caller.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
People doesn't understand. Just last month on Fox situation, a student 16-year-old had sexual affair with a 5-year-old teacher. It was brought to the attention of the authority, but since the boy was 16 years old, they could not have charged the woman. However, there is a law, a continual law, that a teacher should not have sex with a student. She pleaded guilty. She was given 60 days house imprisonment. She was made to do 100 hours community service. She was instructed to keep away from the students, and she was deemed a sex offender. And if that Allen was 17 years old, the statutory requirement to have
ROSELYN Allen. God is his son.
ROSELYN Allen.
Hello?
Thank you, caller.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. So if she was 17 years old, in 1986, the statutory requirement was she had to be 18 years to give consent. And if she was 17 years, Dr. Rowley had sex with a minor. And there are no statutes or
She was 17 years. 1 minute, caller. She was 17 years when she bring forth Gat Allen.
She was 17 years when the child was she gave birth to the child.
But you have to understand, a relationship took place
before the birth of the child.
Not only before she became 17 years.
Yes.
Understand?
Yes. So there's
and we need to know. Thank you, caller. We need to know the length of the relationship, because you have to understand, she didn't. As I told people yesterday, she didn't just fall from the sky and she was 17 years. She would have been 16 years. She would have been 15 years. She would have been 14 years. And she would have been...
Well, let us say go so far back to 14. Let us leave it at 16 to 17. If it was 16 to 17, he still broke the law, and it was a sexual... It was
morally wrong for a school teacher. It is morally wrong for a school teacher to have any love affair with a student. And we have to face that. We have to face that. Because this person is saying, I knew him since I used to go to school. This is what she is saying. She is saying that she knew Dr. Rowley since he used to go to school. Since she used to go to school. She went as far as him. And to tell you the truth. She didn't say to tell you the lie. She said to tell you the truth. I always used to like him since I going to school. Now, what would make you like a man, not a fellow student, but like a man, a big, hardback man, a monster, a beast, a person who is breathing hard? What will make a school girl?
Gladly, these things happen.
No.
Gladly, these things happen.
I'm trying to understand it.
Gladly,
this is a girl.
Happen.
This is a girl with the little ribbon on her hair.
Yet she hormones act out. Gladly, these things has happened. But Gladly, these things have happened.
Let me kill up the line there. No.
Gentlemen,
is a hardback man. Rowley was a hard.
Yeah,
come on. And you have any picture when Rowley so look long time?
Yeah, he had hair and I think.
Plenty hair, bushy beard. I will put it up on Facebook very soon. Good evening, caller.
Yeah, good evening. Let us stretch our imagination.
Yes.
Imagine we have a prime minister or leader of the opposition who has a bracelet on his ankle saying he's a pedophile, and he cannot go to certain countries and certain districts to represent our country. These are the things we are faced with, you know. As I say, or you're quite rightful to say, this thing must be dealt with because it is an embarrassment to our country.
Because what I'm saying, caller, most likely tomorrow, next week, and the only time we just take up issue down here is when the international press publish the story.
You're so right, because
and I am saying,
most likely they might.
And
when they come down here, they cannot say nobody push nobody aside and they not answer no questions, you know, because he have to face the outside world. Because Trinidad is not isolated.
But look at
Barry, I am getting a strong premonition that an international media is about to publish a story about this person, this leader, who it is alleged of having sex with a school girl.
I have no reason to doubt something like that happened.
And that is the premonition I'm getting.
Because we are living in a global village.
And are we going to wait until the international media publish the story in a newspaper? And then Express run to publish, send somebody to do investigative research, or some Guardian reporter, some news reporter?
Why are we waiting on that? Why must
we going to wait on that?
That is wrong.
And that is troubling.
This is good. This is going to be.
That's serious cause for concern.
It is going to be a serious political blow.
Gladiator also said if and when the international press check up this, they will access this country. Why did you always so late?
Yes.
Exactly so.
And as I said on my Facebook page, the behavior.
Thank you, caller.
The representation of our leaders speaks volume of who we are as a nation. You know.
Let's hear what Rowley said. Let's hear what Rowley is saying. Let's hear. Let me hear before we go, because time is running out. Let's hear.
Tonight I told you I want to speak to you about morality in public affairs.
Morality in public affairs.
Morality in public affairs means when you have put yourself up to conduct public business, you have to subscribe to principles of morality and ethics, even if they are not written in law.
Now, So this girl, watching this teacher had to be a real macho man. Real macho man. And maybe when he walk into school, back in those days, you have this young girl lusting, watching you, getting all kinds of wet dreams. But at the end of the day, she said it was a secret something.
But beside that, it is your responsibility as the man
to say,
stop right there. You know?
Stop right there.
Because you are the teacher, and you have to understand that when you are a teacher, you are also a parent.
Yes.
You are the parent away from home.
Yeah.
You understand me? So therefore, anything, even if it is a woman seducing a little schoolboy, it is wrong, it is illegal, it is morally wrong. And the thing about it, what is, and I keep asking you and you're not answering this question because you are an attorney at law, you're not stupid, you know, and stop playing your dancing wrong this for me. What was this secret something?
But let's hear what Rowley said. Let me hear this piece here. Let's hear it.
I have been in public life since 1980 on a PNM platform. I have been in Parliament since January 1987. I've fallen in love with a lot of girls.
Look me crosses. Play it again. But what the hell is this?
I have been in public life since 1980 on a PNM platform. I have been in Parliament since January 1987. I've fallen in love with a lot of girls.
You hearing that? But what the hell is this?
Clady, all of that is making sense to me, you know. Here the part that I want to get analyzed and get some answers for. What is this secret something? And if this relationship...
But you ain't hearing this man is saying he was a hot man. This man is saying he fell in love with so many... Let me take this caller here. Good evening, caller.
Gladiator?
Yes.
Gladiator?
Hey, Bolt.
I was in this spread today, and they're talking about this one but they got caught. I went like you talk for man, and I was talking about this spread today. Whole day talking about that today in the square.
All right, okay, Bolt.
Okay,
Thank
Bolt,
you.
thanks.
Thank you, Bolt.
You see how the negative effect the campaign
They don't know. This is why I'm saying that right now they label all over. Look, man, all in Independence Square. I driving through Independence Square too, and I post there. Glady, you hear what I say now? All by the double stand. I say what I saying. Pedophile nasty movement. This is what the politics have reached you now. And it's not from any person high up or what have you. It is a man in the street. And when the man in the street could reach to that level and label PNM and say that PNM stands for pedophile nasty movement, Barry, well, something is wrong. Good evening, caller.
Yes, hello. Good evening, Gladiator, and the panel.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
It has already gone international.
It gone international?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Miss Allen is saying, she and her son is saying that she said she was not raped. Right?
Yes, she's.
So, and the reason why
we're not dealing with the issue. We're not dealing with the issue of rape because what you're seeing clearly here, there was a consent. She said
right,
that caller. We are not dealing with the issue of rape. Don't get us wrong at all. We are dealing. One minute, caller. I'm caller. What we are saying
was secret. Right? She said that she had always liked him while she was going to school. Keep it a secret, meaning that she kept it to herself. That is what she's talking about.
That is what you want. That is what you want. That is what you want two big men here to understand with that. Man, right? Come off the people phone. Come off the people phone.
This man come to drop.
What's wrong with this man?
He come to drop.
Talking to ABC class out.
He come to drop a Faris Al-Rawi spin. You know what Faris Al-Rawi, the spin, the whole thing is not the form, is the substance. A kind of Sebastian Vento kind of spin is not the form, is the substance. That would you come among intelligent people to talk
I want to appeal to the nurses in sentence. Keep the patients off the phone for me, please.
Forget about it. Let me come back. Good evening, caller. Good evening, caller. Because you know we have a limited time and we're trying to squeeze in as much callers here. Good evening, caller. Right. Well. Very nice. So let me see what we have to say. Now,
Gladiator, I don't want you to carry me to a flight of fantasy and an excursion to nowhere. What was this secret something?
So what I mean? Look.
What was this secret something? Because if this relationship...
So you don't understand that? Even if people on Charlotte Street don't know what is the secret something, everybody, all on Henry Street are talking about it. John on Charlotte Street, John and Murray, they're talking about it. They're discussing it all on George Street by George Street Market. You are me? When I say walk through there,
I walked through town today and it was...
everybody talking about it. Everybody talking about it, but...
So then why is the PNM not addressing this important issue?
My concern, we only talking about ROSELYN Allen. What if other schoolgirls had a liking for this man? What about if others, and there was a fight and fist fight? I want this man, I like this man. What if all kinds of sex could have taken place with other school children? We do not know.
Is this part of the reason?
And I'm not saying with Rowley, but a teacher, let us say a teacher is a macho man, is the hard man, the goofy man in a school. And when a young girl watching a teacher with lust, there are other students would be doing the same thing too.
And it's for him to stop it.
Right.
It's for him to put a stop to it and say, this is not what we're here for.
Right.
Okay. But granted, that may be so.
Because the person would never know that down the road they might have an aspiration to become the prime minister of the country.
Precisely.
Yes.
So therefore, what we are saying here, the logical conclusion we have to come to is that the PNM needs to address this as an urgent matter.
Because the premonition I'm getting here, a big story is about to be published in an international newspaper about this whole matter. And when that story, because them people outside there, when they conduct their investigation, Rowley cannot avoid the question no. Because the local media doesn't want to publish it at all. Sheila Rampersad, she doesn't want to publish it. She doesn't want to do the investigation.
But she has to now go back.
But she laid the foundation.
She laid the foundation for questions to be asked.
Yes, she laid the foundation. Good evening, caller.
Yeah, good evening, Gladiator and Barry.
Yes, good evening.
Point 410.
Hey,
yes,
point away, man.
Gladiator and Barry, you know what's striking about this whole thing too? The PNM had admitted, some members of the PNM party had admitted that the boy belongs to ROWLEY. And if somebody could come and say that, even down to the same Faris Alwari had said that, right? What it is for ROWLEY to come out and say the boy is his own, up to this present date, ROWLEY has not claimed that boy, and on his face, on his biography, it still
point 14.
Don't have this boy mentioned as his son. And I want to know what it is about this boy that he does not want to claim personally by himself, right? She kept it a secret, and he kept it a secret for the 46 or 47 years. And I want to know why it is no lawyer in Trinidad and Tobago cannot make a research to find out, because I think on the tape had said when the boy was born, conceived and all these kind of things, when the boy was born and all these kind of things. And I don't think it is hard enough for somebody to go back in the law books, right, and find out if that was something committed under the age that he's not supposed to have any sort of a dealings with somebody young as that, right? So I don't know what is the big hiding. The PNM itself had said that the boy belongs to ROWLEY. Right?
Point.
So
but I want to drop the bombshell here. We are about to close off. I want to drop the bombshell here this evening, on this Friday. Barry Garcia, and to the listening public out there, the latest news. You want to hear the latest news?
Yeah.
The latest news, it is alleged that Dr. Keith Rowley has 5 children. It is alleged that Dr. Keith Rowley doesn't only have 2 children.
With Sharon.
He doesn't only have 3. It is alleged that Dr. Keith Rowley has 5 children. And if you want to know where you get it from, you get it right here on the program on the election platform. Now, Barry, this is a next breaking allegation that Dr. Keith Rowley has. Now, I don't want to believe that this man have more than 2. Well, now we know it's 3. I don't want to believe that this man has more than 3, because we had no knowledge about Garth Allen. But now, the latest news is that Dr. Rowley has, according to the allegation, 5 children. Where are they? Who are they? We don't know one is Tonya. We don't know one is Sonel. That is the 2 daughters. Yeah. We don't know one is Garth Allen. We need to know the other 2. What happened? You're stunned, you're shocked out.
Yeah, well, you have me bewildered. I don't know where to go with this one. You have me real shocked there, because if what you are saying, and I know you a man don't come out and make
I won't come out and make that statement at all.
Without you doing your research.
People of TNT, the breaking news, according to allegation, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley has 5 children. Now, Gladiator does not know whether it is true, but we will hope that the political leader come and clear the air, say that is not true. You have to know you have not amended the biography on the PNM website. It still carries 2 children, 2 girls. You have not put in Garth Allen. But the breaking news is that Dr. Rowley doesn't only have 2, he doesn't only have 3, but he has 5 children. Until next week, we are out of here.
That was a paid program.